As I've said countless times that I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with life. I don't believe that we are here for a good reason. I believe that there's something sinister going on that we are not aware of. We are a very ignorant species. So, yes, things can happen that we are not aware of, or that some people are aware of. But even if they try to tell us what's going on, because we're ignorant, we might not believe them, and we might not actually be willing to find out if what they are telling us is true or not. I'm a very honest person. I'm very honest with myself. I think it is important that each and every person is honest with themselves. That's why I'm honest with myself. I'm very honest with other people. I like to tell people how I feel. If I wanted to lie to other people, it wouldn't be hard for me to lie to other people. It's easy to lie. It's actually harder to tell people the truth. Lying is easy. I speak the truth because I see the importance of speaking the truth. I think people must learn from the truth than from lies. I love listening to people who really speak the truth without fear. I learn a lot from these people. I know a lot of people who come to this channel and who keep on coming back because they learn a lot. They learn a lot because I'm honest. You see, when a person speaks the truth, they make you realize things that you were not even realizing about yourself. Because you will relate. So when a person speaks the truth, you will relate. Because on a subconscious level, we all know the truth. But some people are not deep enough to have access to the truth. You see the problem? But on a subconscious level, we all know the truth. That's why it triggers us. That's why some people get angry when you tell them the truth. That's because they know the truth. But they're just not that deep enough to have access to it. So they don't really understand it. They just know it on a subconscious level. What I've been trying to find out my whole life, and I think I've been getting the same result using different methods to find out what I was trying to find out. What I've been trying to find out ever since I was young was whether I'm the problem or the world is the problem. That's what I've been trying to find out. I realized at a very early age that something isn't right. And because of that, I didn't feel okay. Because of that, I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel excited about life. I didn't feel excited about the future. But what I needed to find out was whether the problem is with me or with the world. Am I the problem or the world is the problem? And no matter what method I've used trying to figure out what the truth is, what I found out was that my pain comes from sanity. What I found out was that I do not feel bad because I have issues. I feel bad because the world itself is bad. And I think each and every person needs to find out for themselves. Especially if they don't feel good, especially if they feel like something isn't right, they need to find out if they do not have a problem. They need to find out if they are not seeing things as they are. If they don't understand what they need to understand, they need to find out if they are wrong. That's very important. No matter what method I've used to find out whether I'm right or wrong, I've actually found out that I'm right. The problem is that the world is insane. The problem is that I was born in an insane world and I'm sane. It has always been the problem. I'm sane, but I'm in an insane world. And the world wants me to be insane. You see the problem? I'm sure that most of y'all who watch my videos have been dealing with the same problem. You are sane in an insane world, and the world wants you to be insane. You are a very rationally minded individual. You are not delusional. You don't lie to yourself a lot, if you do lie to yourself. And if you do lie to yourself, you later realize that you are lying to yourself and you keep on growing. That is important. It's important to keep on growing. And because of that, you've been maturing more than other people. You've been becoming more sane than other people. So when they do things that are insane, and you see that they're doing things that are insane, you don't want to do these things. And you don't feel good doing these things. And that causes you suffering. You are suffering because you live with people who are insane, but they don't know that they are insane. You live with people who are wrong, but they do not know that they are wrong. And there ain't that many people who are like you. That is one of the biggest reasons why you had to find this community. You knew that you were right, and you were surprised that many people couldn't see that you were right. So you try to find a community of people who actually see life the way that you see life. And after finding this community, you are like, whoa, I found a family. You felt like, whoa, it's actually my first time finding a family. I never had a family. What I had was people who were forcing me to be like them, who were forcing me to vibrate on their frequency. But I was different. I was able to see through their bullshit. I was able to see that that's not the way to live life. I didn't want to be delusional like them. I wanted to live life differently. And I was surprised how they weren't able to see through their own bullshit so that they can change and actually do things that actually make sense. When you don't feel good in this world, people automatically think that there's something that you are doing wrong. And if they feel good, if they love life, it means that there's something that they are doing right. So they feel like they must change you. Look at us. We're happy. You're not happy? Oh, just try to, do what you love. Try to find like-minded people. I mean, that's a good advice. But they say it as if you just have not been doing the right things and they've been doing the right things. But what you might find out is that you were actually doing the right things all along. The problem was that everyone was doing the wrong things and you are outnumbered. People believe that they succeed in life because they are right. They get what they want in life because they are right. Don't realize how random life is. I like the scene in the movie Idiocracy where they were explaining that evolution doesn't necessarily favor the strong, the right. It doesn't necessarily favor the strong. It doesn't necessarily favor the brave. Sometimes being brave can get you killed, and you find that people who are weaker than you actually survive, right? Sometimes being intelligent can get you killed, and people who are less intelligent might survive. In a world like this, because of how random everything is, people who survive are people who are doing whatever they can to survive. They don't necessarily have to do the right thing. It's people who are always looking for opportunities to succeed. People who don't care about rights and wrong. People who don't really have hearts. So imagine if you are this sane human who doesn't want to do whatever it takes to succeed, to have what you want, or you don't even think it's worth it. So you're like, I'm not going to do the stuff that you guys do. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in the game that you're playing. To me, it doesn't make sense. I believe that we can do things better. We can make things more fair. I'm not in love with how we do things. Even if I succeed in life and have most of the things that I want, I'm not going to be happy knowing that life is the way that it is. I just don't love it. I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love with the way that we do things. I don't look at humanity and feel proud and feel like we must be here for as long as possible. I feel like we are a disaster. And what scares me is that we're not improving, right? We're not becoming better. It doesn't seem like there's hope for the future. What we've always wanted was to be more powerful than other people, right? You want to be more powerful than the next guy. And what's going to happen in the future is that it's going to be much easier for people to be more powerful than other people. And they're going to enslave these people indirectly. Because people want to enslave other people. We've seen that happen in the past. Just the fact that that was possible should make you question everything. The fact that it was possible for a man to own other men should make you question everything. The fact that the law allowed it back then should make you question everything. That has not changed. People still own other people. That did not change. They just found a way that was more effective to enslave other people. You see? Because to own slaves and tell them what they must do, you must actually make them feel like they have to do these things. They have to be owned, and that is okay. They mustn't feel like they are slaves. You must actually make them think that they are doing something wrong if they don't want to be slaves, right? You are lazy. That's why you don't want to be a slave. See, you must make them feel like they are doing something wrong. Why do they not want to be slaves while everyone else wants to be a slave? Slavery did not end. It just took a different form. And it can never end. And I don't think we are going to change this form of slavery. I don't think we're going to end this form of slavery. I don't think we can. Are you suffering because you got issues as an individual? Or you're suffering because you were born in an insane world and you are being forced to be insane? You are being forced to change and become like everyone else so that you fit in. But you are vibrating at a much higher frequency. What do I mean? You are very intelligent. You are very aware. You are very right. And you do not want to go down to everyone's level because you are already too conscious. You know that if you go down to everyone's levels, you will be doing something wrong. So you must remain on your level. But everyone is trying to drag you down to their level, and that's exhausting. You see, you live in a world where people do things that are wrong, but don't even realize that they're doing things that are wrong. And they want to force you to do these things. There's the reason why we have vegans in the world, people who are fighting for animal rights. There's the reason why we have internationalists in the world. There's the reason why we have people who are against people being underpaid. We have lots of different groups of people who are trying to fight for fairness in the world, who are fighting for things to be better in the world, who are trying to minimize suffering in the world. There's a part of them that recognizes that there are some things that we are doing wrong and we must change. But some of us have lost hope. Some of us are like, the problem is that This is how we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to play the game. So maybe the whole thing is wrong. Because the things that we're trying to change about life are natural. And this is what a lot of people don't even realize. The things that we're trying to change about life are completely natural. It's only when you've become super aware. It seems like DNA was trying to give birth to awareness, real awareness. And then we realize, after reaching real awareness, we realize that, oh, damn, like the whole process was brutal. There's been a lot of suffering. So now we must do what we can to minimize suffering, to end suffering. I mean, when you're conscious, you are able to see if something is wrong. When you're not conscious, you're not able to see if something is wrong. That's why animals that are less conscious don't care about right or wrong, because, well, they're just not that conscious. If you realize that the more conscious you become as a human, the more you are able to see if something is not right. The more you are able to actually treat other people well. You are able to treat other people the way that they deserve to be treated. And you are able to treat yourself the way that you should be treated, the way that you should treat yourself. The truth is, most people don't treat other people well. Most people don't treat themselves well. Most people are not conscious of the wrong things that are happening every day in the world. And because of that, they cannot change. They just don't have enough consciousness to see when something is not right. But some of us do have enough consciousness to see if something is not right. And because of that, we suffer. You see? Because you are conscious, you suffer. I remember I saw a comment like a week ago that said it would be better if only unconscious people were born, only unconscious animals were born. If evolution was only able to produce animals that are not going to be aware of the madness that's going on in this world, that would be good. The problem is that super conscious people are born and they see them that, okay, whatever is going on is madness, and because of that they don't feel good. They end up suffering. You have to understand that if you are right and everyone else is wrong, by default you suffer. There's no way around it. If you are right and everyone else is wrong, you suffer. They don't suffer, but you do suffer. I mean, they do suffer in other ways, but you suffer more because you are outnumbered. So you're going to have to deal with the problems that they deal with because they are wrong, but also have to deal with the fact that they are wrong and they are not willing to change. I came across a video a couple of hours ago while I was on Instagram. I didn't even think I was going to talk about this video, but it just crossed my mind as I was trying to make the point that I was trying to make. So there's this lady, she has a nail on her forehead. She's chilling with her man. She's telling this guy, yo, man, I feel like there's something here, something that's making me feel feel like I have a headache every day. I feel pressure. At first, they were not showing us that she has a nail. So she's just talking to a man, telling him that she doesn't feel good. She feels like something's wrong with her head. And then they showed us that she actually has a nail. And the guy said, I mean, if you just remove the nail. All right, guys, the playing music, and I think I'm gonna get a copyright strike if I keep on recording here. So I think I might have to go and record outside. Oh, I had to come and record outside um, to avoid getting a copyright strike. But like I was telling you, yeah, the lady had a nail on her forehead, and she was complaining about having a headache that just won't go away. So a man said, if you could just, remove the nail, you probably feel well. And then the lady said, oh, you don't listen to me. You see, that's the problem. You don't listen to me. I'm trying to tell you how I feel, and you don't want to listen to me. Like, she doesn't realize that, well, the problem is that she has a nail on her forehead, right? That's the problem with people in general. You tell them that, hey, this is the real problem, right? This is what's causing the problem. And they say, no, it's not, and then they get angry at you, right? They get angry at you for giving them the real solutions. Like, they don't want the real solutions. Like, they want to continue to have the problem that they are having, so that they'll continue to complain. It's like that's the game that they want to play, as if there's something that they gain from complaining. If you realize that about some people, like some people love complaining, but they don't love coming up with actual solutions. Or no, let me not even say coming up, but they don't want to solve their problems, right? A person can suffer because they are having children and they don't have money, and you tell them to stop having children, they say that you're evil. Like, no, that's the real problem. So you're going to keep on saying, oh, the government doesn't do this, the government doesn't do that. Who say that the government really owes you? Who say that other people owe you? Because we have this thing of complaining about what other people should do. Maybe no one owes anyone anything in this realm. That's the truth. That is why I hate it when some people impose their morality on others. Like, if a person maybe wants to be assisted to exit, we say, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. Like, no, nobody owes anyone anything. I mean, it's not like I can go into your house and eat food, right? Open the fridge and eat food. Like, you don't owe me anything. It's not like you are helping me or you've borrowed me something. But yeah, people like to complain a lot without coming up with real solutions. Or when you tell them the real solutions, like, this is real the solutions, they get angry at you. No, that's not the solution. What is the solution then? So you can be so conscious that you are aware of the wrong things that are happening in the world, and you're also aware of what needs to be done, but the solutions seem so radical to other people. No, other people can't agree with your solutions. Like, nah, I would rather go through what we're going through, because the solution, we're not willing to do what it takes to solve the problem that we have. So would rather keep on complaining, keep on doing things that ain't going to solve the problems, keep on praying, keep on trying to manifest what we want, keep on staying positive, right? I'll remain positive. I'm not going to be negative while things are not changing. So it sucks when people are creating problems and you try to show them how they can avoid creating these problems, and they don't, try to avoid creating these problems. They continue to create these problems, and because of that, they suffer, but you also suffer. So you suffer together because of the problems that they're creating. Because here's the thing: whether we like it or not, what we do affect others, right? Like, you're not just here to live alone. Like, we are responsible for the quality of other people's lives. Believe it or not, you can make someone miserable. Like, if you wanted to make someone miserable, you actually be able to do that, right? That's what you must understand. It's easy, but you can also make someone's life great. That is also very easy to do. There are people that you can help in this world and that really need your help. So we need to look at ourselves as a large organism, right? Because what we do affects others. So we are one in that sense. If we are going to be ignorant, our ignorance is going to affect others. You see? I remember I saw this post on Facebook that said, when you die, you don't suffer, but other people suffer because they're gonna miss you, right? But you'll be dead, so you're not going to suffer. You're not going to be in pain. It's just like when you're stupid. When you're stupid, it affects people around you. Like, you're not really affected by your own stupidity. So if you're going to be ignorant, then other people are going to be affected by your ignorance, and they suffer because of your ignorance. Let's say you are very selfish, and that's because you are ignorant. You lack compassion. You might make other people's lives very hard because you're very ignorant. Maybe you are their parents, maybe you are their brother, maybe you are their sister, maybe you are their boss. So they have to be under you, or they have to be with you, they have to live with you, and you are making poor choices because of your level of awareness, and they suffering because of that. That sucks. We're suffering in this world because of other people. That's why they say that hell is other people. You see? That's why I'm saying that we're a large organism with different consciousnesses, but whatever we do affect others, like, because we're part of, like, this, we're one in that sense. We're this large organism, so whatever decision we make affect other parts of itself, you see. It is said that when people are not feeling okay, we're too quick to point hands at them without looking at their lives, without looking at what they are going through. A person can go to see a psychologist and tell that psychologist that they are going through a divorce, they are sick, they are unemployed. The person who's divorcing them doesn't want, let's say it's a woman, the man that's divorcing her doesn't want anything to do with the kids. He doesn't want to take care of the kids anymore, and some of them are sick, and she's sick as well. She's depressed. She doesn't even have a place to live, to stay, right? She doesn't even have a place to stay. She doesn't even have friends. She doesn't have family. She don't know who to call to ask for help. And that psychologist might say that and then she says that she feels like ending things. That psychologist might say, you have a mental illness, you have depression. But like, what? Isn't it possible that she's just going through a lot? Like she's going through a lot in life, and the way that she feels is exactly how she should feel. It's exactly how any person going through what she's going through, and any person who's normal, any person whose brain is working properly should feel. So we cannot say she's sick. We can say that okay, she's in a bad situation because well, the world itself is sick. Just the fact that we live in a world where that's possible, where some people are super rich and some people are super poor. That's the problem, you know. People shouldn't be okay with that. But we're gonna say that she's the problem. Hey, try this, try that. Like no, it's the world that's the problem. Things are not being done well in the world. You see. If you owned slaves and they were not copying, they were not coping, they were not doing well, you blame them. You wouldn't think, well, it's because I'm making them work harder than they can. I'm abusing them. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't care. You blame them. Our society is flawed. There are a lot of things that we are doing wrong, and people are not feeling well because of that. There are a lot of things that are being done to us that are not good. Things that should make us not feel good. But because we are not free, no one is looking at that and be like, that's the problem, that's the cause. You know, young people suffering with all kinds of mental illnesses. We don't stop and think, well, maybe it's the education system. Maybe it's the fact that they've had to go to school since they were young. Maybe it's the fact that they were brought into a world by people who couldn't even take care of them. You know, maybe that's why. They've been through a lot in life, so they should feel the way that they feel. And if we want to solve, if we want the future generation to actually do better than this generation, then we must change some of these things. Maybe kids mustn't be forced to go to school and learn what they do not want to learn. Maybe they should have, you know, many different options in life. You know, they shouldn't have to like only use one path to make it. Maybe parents who can't take care of their children shouldn't be having children. Maybe that makes more sense. Maybe we need to help those that are truly helpless in our society. You know, maybe some things should be free. Maybe people mustn't pay to live on a planet that they were born in. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe we need to change that. Maybe people are going to be able to cope better if we change that. If we change, if we change our education system, if we don't force people to work shitty jobs, to work meaningless jobs in order to survive. Maybe people should do what they want and still be able to make money. Maybe that will be better. But we're not looking at what's causing the problems. We just want to blame people for not being able to cope. The more intelligent you are, the more you would actually suffer, because you'll understand what you deserve. You'll understand how the world should be because of your own intelligence. The dumber you are, the less you're going to suffer, because you'll think that this is normal. You see, that's why I'm saying that my pain was caused by sanity. My pain wasn't caused by me having issues. In fact, the fact that I don't have issues caused the pain that I had to deal with my whole life. The pain that I couldn't make go away. Like it just been there the whole time because I was confused by the human experience. I remember I saw this meme that says, you know, my mental illness is that I'm an alien who's confused by the human experience. Like I'm an actual alien who's confused by the human experience. So that made me laugh. But yeah, what could be causing your mental illness might be that you are confused by this experience. You are on another level of thinking. You know how the world should be, and you're confused that people are doing things that don't make any sense, things that they themselves don't understand. When you try to communicate with them, when you try to make them understand that, hey, the things that they are doing do not make sense, they think that there's something wrong with you. If you're outnumbered, it doesn't really matter how right you are. People are going to see that you are right when it's too late, when there's nothing that can be done. And they will say, oh, that person was right. Yeah, that person was right, and they've had to suffer because you're all wrong. But what can we do now? There's people now who are right, and you don't see that they're right, and then you're going to see that they're right when it's too late. You only see when that someone was right when it's too late. So that these people suffer because of that. I mean, it's not easy to change other people's minds. And people who are right don't really want to force other people to change their minds. They just want to tell them the truth. And if they don't, understand them, they don't understand them. It's people who are wrong that are trying to force other people to agree with them. You see, they're wrong. So, and part of them knows that they're wrong. So they're like, I gotta force other people to agree with me. They don't even, the thing is, they don't even know right from wrong. Let me put it that way. So they just think it has to do with what people prefer. So when someone opposes them somehow, even if they're right, and they oppose them because they're right and they're wrong, they assume that these people are just fighting them. It's like if you believe in Islam and someone is a Christian. I mean, both religions are wrong. But let's say someone believes in Islam and you don't believe in religion at all, and you see that they are oppressing women in some ways, and you tell them that, hey, I think this is wrong, like the way that you treat women is wrong, women should be treated this way and that way. A person who doesn't know right from wrong, they're going to take that as a personal attack. You see, like you attacking me, because they don't realize that what you're telling them is true. It sucks being conscious. People think it's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's just that you can get used to it. You can get used to being disappointed, looking at society and being disappointed, because you've always been disappointed. So oh yeah, I cannot expect much from people. People suck. So yeah. I like to give you all this example that if there were other planets with sophisticated life who brought a life from that planet into this planet and it has to live here, it probably want to go back within a few days. And if we took it back, it would probably suffer with mental illnesses. It will have issues because of having to deal with whatever is going on here. The problem is the world. The problem is not people themselves. I mean, yeah, people suck, but I mean, most of the time when a person says they're not feeling good, or they feel like they don't want to be here anymore, they're not the problem. The problem is that there are a lot of things that are happening that are just not right, you see, and they are responding to that. But a lot of people with power don't want to understand that, because that will mean that they will have to relinquish their power. Yeah, something is definitely wrong, and I don't think as humanity we have the power to change things, because we are so different, we are so divided, we don't see things the same way, and if we try to change things, we're gonna end up fighting. Like, we're gonna end up fighting with one another. It's one of the biggest problems with this matrix. Thank you all, guys.